Hello guys, this is a review of the movie Scent of a Woman starring Al Pacino and Chris O'Donnell. Unfortunately, this is one of those movies that I watched a while back and I'm just now getting a chance to review it. So for sure, some details are going to be blurred, but for the most part, I feel like I have a solid idea of what the movie made me feel and my opinions about it, which I think is the most important part in a personal review such as this one. So let's talk briefly about the plot and then I'll get into my opinions about the film. The movie follows the story of a university student, I forgot his name, and a blind former lieutenant colonel. He is. Did I mention that he was blind? I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, now he can't see, and you could imagine how that has, messed with him mentally, even though he is a strong man for having worked at, doing what he did, and then now being, having to be, quote unquote, at the care of someone else. This student offers, well, he gets paid, but in a way he offers to take a job as a guardian of this man, and he doesn't cut him any slack. The student doesn't come from a rich family. He doesn't have connections, but he, through his own merit, his own hard work and dedication, he makes it to a very prestigious university where he's kind of, we could say, bullied by his friends. But I mean, that's really not the point, and it's not like I feel very strong bullying, but just keep that in mind because I'm going to mention it later on. When the lieutenant's family leaves, he's like, "Are they gone?" He's like, "Yeah." "Okay, so we're going to New York." He lets him know, and they're going off to like Thanksgiving celebration. That's why the family can't be with him at that time. They're like, "We're gonna go to New York and we're gonna have fun and you're gonna love it, so let's go." And the guy's like, "Wait, I don't think we should be doing to that. Let's go." Like I said, he doesn't cut him any slack. So they go to New York and they get to do a lot of the things that this man wants to do, or like hasn't had a chance in a very long time. He gets to be intimate with a woman, a beautiful woman, as he says, like he could tell just through the scent how beautiful they are, and this and that's, kind of like Hannibal Lecterish. And he gets to drive a very fast vehicle. He gets to dance with another beautiful woman. I mean, he gets to just live out his life. And then we come to find out that he wants to die of suicide. That's his plan. That's what he's been wanting to do all along. But the student does not give in to that. He's like, "I'm not going to leave you alone. If you want to die, you're going to have to kill me too." And that's how it's going to go. Because I feel like this is a coming of age drama film that really, well, that's my opinion about it. Let me just finish the plot before we get into that. In the end, the student convinces the lieutenant of not committing suicide. And he, the lieutenant, I mean, finds worth in being a mentor to this kid. Like, they lived all of this together. They went through like ups and downs and this and like wrongs and rights. So I guess he, like I said, he, gets a motivation to keep on going and to be a father presence for this kid who is at the mercy of his peers, which I mentioned earlier were not like the best friends to have because they are used to just doing whatever they want and not getting, not suffering the consequences. And near the beginning of the film, they do some things that they were not supposed to do. What do they? I think they vandalize a teacher's car, and then they do this other thing at the flag. I forget the details, but they do wrong things, and they're being, there's an ongoing investigation. And this student, the one that goes with the lieutenant and everything, the guardian, I'm gonna call him the guardian. The guardian is made an offer to either rat these guys out, like point fingers, or get expelled. So they're gonna have a hearing at the school, and they're gonna make a decision of what to do with these suspects, we could say. And he would have been just left at the mercy of them if it weren't for Lieutenant, who shows up and stands up for him and builds a case that, he's not, like, we could say, dwindling on his character. He's a man of character, he's a man of his word. He's not gonna point fingers, but he's gonna stand up to what he did. And that's something that we lack in society nowadays. I mean, I'm paraphrasing for what Lieutenant said, and that's where the movie ends. It doesn't sound that interesting because I make all the summaries boring, but it's a very fun film. This movie was recommended by my sister a while ago, and I got to buy it at the famous FYE store. I love that store. I call it Fi. It sadly closed down, and I still can't get over it. But anyway, now to my opinions about the film. I think the movie is so amazing. I love how I didn't lose interest in it. I thought for a moment, based on the cover, that it wasn't going to be that fun for me. I think they did a bad job. Okay, I don't want to say that. What I mean is that I feel like they could have taken a different direction. I think that's better explained, because it doesn't do it justice. The movie's just too amazing, and maybe that's the problem. um, the movie talks about so many different real life things, and that's super important in drama films. I admire that in horror films and comedies, but it's not as important. Like, they have a lot more freedom, to do crazy things, and the flying dragons and the vampires. And then for a drama film that's supposed to be real, then have real life things, and of course, I'm not gonna have the same. My real is not the same real as an astronaut. I don't know what they do, so to me it's kind of like everything is foreign and strange and awesome. But when you have somebody like the lieutenant or somebody like the student, then the way that they execute it is just marvelous. The acting, and it says here Al Pacino won his first Best Actor Oscar for his brilliant portrayal of the da 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 da. So he won an Academy Award for this. It's amazing. This movie came out before I was born, and I'm just so lucky that I got to watch it now, because I wouldn't have if it weren't recommended by my sister. Like I was saying, to give some little details in case you haven't watched it. Spoilers ahead, obviously. As if I didn't obviously spoil it in the beginning. The Guardian is so distraught at having to choose between continuing his education, his dreams, everything he's ever worked for, or failing on his principles as a man, as a human. What is the right thing to do, what is the wrong thing to do, you don't know in these situations. Like, the line is not as bright and solid as it is in other situations. Like, let's say I go out and I kick my neighbor's kid in the face. It's pretty obvious that I'm in the wrong, even if the kid called me a dumb pig. You know what I'm saying? It's still like, you shouldn't kick him. But in this situation, you could have an argument both ways. And we see in the end of the film, as I told you, when the lieutenant makes an argument for him, that there is an argument to be made. And it could go either way, depending on how well you defend your position. And one thing's for sure, if you are so privileged as to just do whatever you want and quote unquote, and not even face time in jail, not get expelled, not just get a slap on the hand and that's it, that's effed up. That's clearly not cool. Do or could they have an argument? They could, and they say it there. But one thing, like I said, is for sure, is that their troubles are nowhere near in comparison to the troubles of the Guardian at all. So it's so fun to see a happy ending. I wanted the lieutenant to die of suicide in the beginning, because, hear me out, because I wanted to cry. At that point where he's like, he has a gun in his hand, I was like, okay, just do it, because it's building up. And when he didn't do it, I was like, now I can't, so that was kind of like unexpected, I could say. in a not so great way, because I want movies like this to be gut wrenching, to be like at the throat, you know, to feel them and to just let it out for all the pain that I'm not even living myself. Um, but when I did see the actual end, because I thought it was going to be over there and then, but when I saw how the entire movie played out, I was content. I was okay. I was like, all right, you know, he's there. He has a very strong purpose. He had a strong purpose. Like we all have one, no matter our circumstances. But when he showed me what he could do and what he is for this guy with actions, with like definite actions, and I was like, okay, that makes that makes his the death that I wished upon him less important, because now I could actually, you know, just turning around and be like, well, you know, like I could cry of happiness. And I didn't cry of happiness because of how funny he is. This guy is just, Al Pacino played the hell out of the character. Everybody here did. I googled a lot of the actors here. I was like, let me see what other works they've done before, so I could check it out, or after. And yeah, it's so such a good film. It's so funny. I'm so glad that I now remember that it was in fact funny. It was a very funny film. I'm not exaggerating. It could probably be categorized as a coming of age drama slash comedy, because it's so it's so well timed and so well, like everything was just amazing. I would give this movie a rating of 10 out of 10 strictly in its category. I enjoyed it a lot. I was pleasantly surprised. I think it has just so many good things about it. I could go on and on and on and on, but I have another movie to review before my voice um gives in to my constant use. I have throat problems. I don't know exactly why, but yeah, so let's end it now. I think I said what I had to say. There's a lot more positive things that I could say about it, because it's a really good film. I really recommend it, but I'm just going to end it on that. 10 out of 10 in its category. Thank you for watching.